Hi everybody, Mary here from A Recreated Life, and today's video is all about party planning. Now this is November, so we've got Thanksgiving coming up, we've got Christmas coming up, probably have some company parties to go to or to make. Maybe we own a company and we need to make a party for our employees. So anyway, that's what today's video is all about, party planning. I thought this might be helpful for everybody out there, to bring a little bit more peace into their holidays. I always find that organizing really brings peace to me. And so, if I can bring that and help you guys do that, I want to do that. Okay, so first of all, let me just say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for, please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for that if you do. Put a comment below and let me know what you're thinking of my getting ready for Christmas videos. Like I said, I'm trying to help you guys bring a little bit of peace to your life, and organizing things ahead of time and knowing where we're going is really helpful for that. Okay, so this is 7 things that we can do to make our holidays a little bit more peaceful and bring a little bit of ease. So 7 things we can do to plan our parties ahead of time. Okay, so number 1, know your date of your party by November 1st. I prefer to know it in advance, but everything that I was reading online about proper etiquette and stuff like that is you should know your party date at least by November 1st. Well, they did say 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time, so that's right about time. That's right about that time, November 1st. Now, there's all kinds of different ways to, your date. Now, how are you going to let people know about your party? Well, there's all kinds of different ways. In my family, we do it, we pick our names, and we know our party date and who's going to have the party, who's going to host the party. In my family, we know that by July 4th. That's when we pick our names for Christmas. So, everybody can do it in a different way, but if we do it that way, that allows us plenty of time to get ourselves organized by the holidays. One thing why we like to do it like that is we only have 2 in my family, and you guys, if you followed me for a while, you know that I have a big family. And in my family, we pick names because it's such a big family. We pick names, and some people like to make gifts for the holidays. And if we pick our names on the 4th of July, then we will know well in advance. We can do plenty of planning for whoever we got a gift name for. And if you want to make something homemade, then you've got plenty of time for that. And another reason why we do it that way is in my family, we meet twice a year, 4th of July and Christmas. So that's really the only other time we're together where we can pick names. So that's why we've done it that way. But there are other ways of doing it. Now, for your party, is it going to be word of mouth like my family party, or are you going to do invitations? If you do invitations for whatever party you're having, make sure that you include the date, the time. I've got notes, so please excuse me for not looking at the camera. So for your invitation, if you're going to mail them out, include the date, the time, the location, the host's contact information. That way people can call you if they have any questions. Directions to your house, or are you going to have a party at a restaurant? Are you going to, are you going to have it away from your home? If so, then provide directions and maybe a map. Let people know if people are coming from out of state. Let them know about hotels in the area, parking information. Should there be a certain dress requirement? This is for like formal parties. So the proper dress attire that should be included in your invitation. Can they bring a date? Can they bring a 1+1 type deal? Should they bring a gift? Things like that should all be included in your invitation. Now, like I said, my information that I found on the internet for when you should do this is 4 to 6 weeks before the party. You should send your invitations out. So make sure you have everybody's addresses well in advance and stamps so that you can send all that stuff out. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2. That is menu planning. Okay, you're going to have your party, you know where it's going to be, you've sent out your invitations. What are you going to have for food? Okay, is it going to be an inside party or an outside party? I've seen people who have like ice skate. I live in a cold climate. So Martha Stewart years ago did a show on, she had a party and it was an ice skating party. So, if that's the case, if it's going to be outside, nowadays a lot of people like to have parties in old barns, Are you going to do that? So are you going to have it inside? Are you going to have it outside? Is it going to be fancy? Is it going to be down home and dressed down and kind of like a barbecue theme, kind of like type thing? Are you going to cook or are you going to have it catered? Are you going to have the guests bring a dish? That's something you'd want to put on your invitation. Everybody could bring a casserole or something. Those are fun. So make a list and decide, make a list and decide when to ship. Oh, shop. I can't read my own writing, guys. All right, make your grocery list and a menu list. Make out a grocery list and decide when you're going to shop to do the groceries for the party. Have some idea, that way it gives you an idea of what the cost of the food will be, what your budget can be for the party. So know that well in advance, so no surprises, okay? Keep it simple. Maybe you guys want to just have like a cocktail party kind of type thing with presents. Or do you want to have people have it really light fare, like maybe bring appetizers or something. And another really important things to find out when you send out your invitations and when you're planning your menu is, do people have allergies? Do you have people in your family with certain medical conditions? Do they have allergies? Are there diabetics being invited? Do they have, I have somebody in my really different situation. There's a family member that has muscular dystrophy and that person has trouble swallowing. I have another family member that, for that family member last Christmas, they blended up some of our food that we had so that person could eat. Blended food is easier for somebody with special medical problems like that. And I only tell you that because, that could be a problem. That could be something that you want to deal with. And if you do, maybe you could zhuzh up some foods for that person. Anyway, things like that. So those are all great things to keep in mind when planning your menu. Number 3. Dishes. What are you going to have for dishes? What do you need for dishes? Plates, platters, utensils, cups. Are you going to use paper or are you going to use real dishes, real utensils? If you're going to use paper, make sure you have plenty of garbage cans for all that paper stuff to go in. Or if you're going to use paper, make sure you have a container that was clearly listed for paper, and that way you can burn all that in the wood stove or in a bonfire outside or, however you're doing it. People could throw the dishes in the bonfire if you're having an ice skating party or something like that. Snowmobiling party, that's another one that people do in my area. We have a lot of snow. So things like that, really think about how many people you've got coming and how much of these items are you going to need. Do you have a dishwasher so that you can throw dishes in if you're not going to use paper? Around here, paper versus real dishes is a real big quandary for people. A lot of people don't like the fact that, paper seems like a low, not really a fancy enough thing to do. But then on the other hand, if you have real dishes, do you have enough? And do you have a dishwasher that can take care of the dishes, or do you need to have somebody wash the dishes? So all those are great questions for whatever dishes you're going to need. Okay, number 4, what are you going to have for drinks? Number 4 is all about drinks. In my opinion, I've written this in my menu planning thing. Have a coffee and tea station. Have a drink station set up wherever you're going to have the party. In my family, we usually, somebody in the family, we have such a big family, and we've done these parties for so long that there's always somebody in the family that has those big, huge, like 30-cup coffee pots. They're old, but hey, they work really well. Have that all set up in the corner, coffee already. I have a lot of coffee drinkers in my family, and we like to have a coffee station. Have lots of, have decaf, have regular. If anybody likes flavored coffees, maybe you want to have some of those. Certainly have lots of coffee creamers available, and certainly some different flavors of coffee creamer. Maybe that's something you can find out ahead of time so that you know what to have on hand. Tea, what kind of tea? Herb teas, regular teas, what do people like to have? and hot chocolate for the kids, you know. And what do you want to put in the hot chocolate? Do you want some, I've seen those little plastic spoons that are dipped in chocolate, and they can stir their hot chocolate with it and make it even more chocolatey, and you could flavor them, you could make them yourself, you can buy those out. Also too, marshmallows, or marshmallow fluff. What do you want to keep on hand for that? My suggestion is a strong suggestion, but have some non-dairy options for creamers. I personally love oat milk. That's a great thing to have on hand. It's creamy, it's delicious in your coffee, but it's a non-dairy alternative. I use either, you can use rice milk. Like I said in past videos, do not use almond milk. It's awful in coffee. It's not good. But there's rice milk, there's coconut milk, which I like. I go between coconut milk and oat milk. Lots of non-dairy options out there, guys. Excuse me. And have sugar options. You know, if you don't want to have just one kind of sugar, maybe you want honey, maple syrup. Excuse me. Or for the diabetics, you might want to have Splenda. A lot of people use that but then a lot of people like to have the all-natural thing. So have lots of options. And also too, are you going to have punch or are you going to have bottles? I have a niece that just got married, and for her bridal shower, my brother and sister-in-law had lots of bottled options. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to have to shut the camera off. I'm going to have a coughing spell. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little coughing spell. I had to get a drink. Okay, where was I at? Like I was saying, my brother and sister-in-law from my niece's bridal shower had bottles of drinks. They had lots and lots of water. It was a hot August day, and we actually had the party by a lake, but you know, there was lots of options for people for drinks. So what they did was, this was kind of an outside, we had a garage opened, and then they had, what do they call those, you know, things that they have at the farmer's market, the canopies. They had quite a few of those set up, tables and chairs underneath so people could get out of the sun. But around the corner from the garage were huge coolers full of these bottled drinks, and we just kept running from outside. You know, we'd go out and get them out of the cooler and bring them in and put them on ice on the table where food was. So that's a great option. It worked fantastic. If you are going to do the bottle thing, here in Maine, we have returnable bottles. They pay us. We can bring them empty bottles, to a redemption center. And so have a garbage can or some type of container set up clearly marked. Returnables, bottles, you know, put your empty bottles in here, and then after the party, you just grab the bag and go to the recycle center. Those are some great options for you to have. If it's going to be an outside party, make sure you've got lots of hot options. If it's a cold day, you know, lots of people are going to want that. Another thing you want to make sure that you have is blankets. You know, if it's going to be an outside thing, do you have lots of quilts people could cover up with? Options for warmth. Okay, so number 5, seating. Where are people going to sit? How are you going to handle the seating at your party? Is it a fancy one where you have tables and chairs chairs at every table, or is it going to be a buffet style party where people go through the buffet line and then need a place to sit to eat? If you have the buffet style, which is what we normally do, then you're going to want lots of flat surfaces for people to put down drinks and their plates and things like that. So lots of TV trays around the area, coffee tables, end tables, just tables so that people can put down their drinks and food. So let's see. And do you need chairs? Where are you going to get a large amount of chairs? If you belong to a church, lots of times people can borrow them from churches. I've done that before. I have a brother-in-law that's a minister, and they always seem to have access to the church tables and chairs. So we've done that before. So anyway, seating, that's a great thing to take into consideration, guys. Number 6 is music. What are you going to have for music? Entertainment. I know when I usually go to my son's houses, they have iPhones with their playlists on them, and they just plug them in to their stations, and that's what's playing, which is a great option. But if you don't have that, you have a lot of CDs. You know, maybe you could have one of the little teenage kids that goes to the party, kind of be the quote-unquote DJ and pay attention to the music. Have lots of Christmas music and other kinds of whatever music you want, and then have somebody tend to the music. Also too, I've been to parties where they had now with the days with our TVs, you can go to music channels on your TV and play different types of music. So those are all great options for music. And the last and final one is number 7 is, what's your plan B? Having a plan B, an alternative. What are you going to do if you have bad weather? If there's a sickness and you yourself are sick, what if there's no power that day? What if you have a huge snowstorm that day? What if there's a family emergency? How are you going to handle that? What is your plan B? It might not be a bad idea to have a couple people in mind and ask well in advance if these people could make phone calls if need be. That way you have one call to make. Call that person and say, hey, look, I'm sick today. So-and-so was in an accident. We can't have the party here today. Can you call everybody and let them know? So that's probably a good idea to have that. So your plan B. In our family, we are all pretty spread out. I mean, we all live in Maine, but we're all pretty spread out. So some people have to travel quite a distance, and I can't tell you how many snowstorms we have had. And I years ago, for a lot of years, I had a brother who his job was took care of the roads for one of the towns. And so if it was stormy, we did not see him. So if we woke up Christmas morning and we knew it was storming, we knew we weren't going to see that brother. He was going to be working. So these are all things you need to take into consideration. If it's a really super duper bad storm, you don't want to put everybody's life in danger. What's your plan? Could you maybe have it the next day or the following weekend or something like that? So have a plan B. All right, you guys, I hope this helps. We covered your invitations, the menu planning, your dishes and plates and forks and spoons, your drinks, seating, music, and your plan B. I hope that really helps. These are a lot of things that we've kind of followed along in our family for years. So I really hope that helps everybody. Try to get yourself a little more organized this year. That's the best thing to bring peace into your life at the holiday time. And, I've mentioned before, I just finished doing my Fly Lady cleaning and organizing before the holiday thing. And she's got a great control journal for holiday time that's really, really good. Talks a lot about, touches upon all these things. And it really, if you think about it, guys, it's just about thinking ahead. Think ahead a little bit with a little bit of forethought, and really not even much, really. With a little bit of forethought, you guys can have things organized, and so that your holidays aren't so chaotic and hectic and crazy, and you don't forget something. Really just try to think about things well in advance and organize yourself so that you can have peace during your holiday time. That's really all your family wants. Okay, you guys, thank you for tuning in today. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for my next video. Again, I'm just reminding everybody I'm back to my old schedule about Tuesdays and Friday, uploading videos on those 2 days. Between now and Christmas, I'll be doing all Christmas ones, holiday planning and things like that. So again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Comment below. Let me know what your holidays are usually like and anything that you guys usually do to plan ahead and make your holidays a little less chaotic. All right, you guys, thanks so much, and I will see you next time.